friends, my name is Monika and today I want to say about a topic is Wings of Fire by Abdul Kalam Orientations. I was born into middle class Tamil family in the Iceland town of Rameswaram in the erstwhile Madras state. My father Jenulubdan has neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. He had an idol helpmate in my mother, Ashima. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certainly that for more or outside and with the then all members of our family put together. My parents were widely regarded as an ideal couple. My mother's line age was line more distinguished one of her forebear having best voted the title of Bahadur by the British. I was one of my many children, assured by a boy with rather undistinguished look, born to tell and handsome parents. We lived in one trail house which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large pucha house made of limestone any brink. On the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram, my ostrich father used to avoid all essential comfort and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in item of food, medicine or cloth. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both material and emotionally. I normally ate with my mother, sitting on a sitting on the floor of the kitchen. She would place a banana leaf before me, on which she then blended rice and aromatic sambar, a variety of sharp homemade pickles and a dollop of fresh coconut chutney. The famous Shiva temple, which made Rameshwaram so sacred to pilgrims, was about a 10-minute walk from our house. Our locate was predominantly Muslim, but there were quite a few Hindu families too living amicably with our locality where my father would take me for evening prayers. I had not the finest idea of the meaning of the Arabic prayer uh, content, but I was totally convinced that they reached God. When my father come out of the mosque after the prayer, people of different religion would be sitting outside waiting for him. Many of them offered bowls of water to my father, who would dip his fingertips in them in words. I also remember people visiting our home to offer thanks after being prod. My father always smiled and asked them to thank Allah, to benevolent and merciful. The high priest of Rameshwaram temple, uh, Pakshi Lakshman Society was a very close friend of my father's. One of the most vivid memories of my early childhood is of two men, each in his traditional attic, discussing spirit matters. When I was old enough to ask questions, I asked my father about the relevance of prayer. My father told me there was nothing sexually about prayer. Rather, prayer made possible a communion of the spirit between people. When you pray, he said, you transcend your body and become a part of the cosmos, which knows no division of wealth, as caste or creed. My father cloud convey complete spiritual concept in very simple, down to earth Tamil. He once told me, in his own time, in his own place, in what he really is, and in the stage he is Richard, God, or bad. Every human being is a specific element within the wall of the manifest divine being. So why be afraid of difficult suffering and problems? When trouble come, try to understand the relevance of your surfings. Advertence always presents opportunity for introspection. Why don't you say this to the people who come to you for help and advice? I asked my father. He put his hands on my shoulder and looked straight into my eyes. For quite some time he said nothing. Yet if if he was judging capacity to comprehend his word, then the answered in a low, deep voice. His answer filled me with a strange energy and insurance. Whenever human beings find themselves alone as a natural reaction, they start looking for company. Whenever they are in a trouble, they look for someone to help them. Whenever they reach an impasse, they look to someone to show them the way out. Every recurrent energy, longing, and desire find its own special helper. For the people who come to me in dresses, I am I am but a go between their effort to property demonic forces with prayer and offerings. This is not a correct approach at all and should never be followed. One must understand the difference between a fire ridden vision of destiny and the vision that enables you to seek the enemy of fulfillment within ourselves. I remember my father starting his day at 4 a.m. by reading the names before dawn. After the names, he used to walk down to a small coconut grove. We owned about 4 miles from our home. He would return with about a dozen coconuts tied together, thrown over his shoulder, and only then would he have in breakfast. This remained his routine even when his age was in his late 60s. I was throughout my life tried to emulate my father in my own world of science and technology. I have endeavored to understand two fundamental truths revealed by me by my father, and feel convinced that there exists a divine power that can lift one up from confusing mystery, melancholy, and failure, and guide on the one's true place, and one's and involved in service as emotions and physical bonds. He is on the road to freedom, happiness, and peace of mind. I was about 6 years old when my father embarked on the project of building a woman's said boat to take pilgrims from Rameswaram to Dhanushkodi, also called Shetkurai. And back he worked at building the boat on the seashore with the help of a relative. Ahmad Jalaluddin, who later married my sister Johra. I watched to the boat take shape, the wooden hull and bulkheads were seasoned with the heat from wood fires. My father was doing good business with the boat when one day a cyclone bringing with of over 10 millis bear how courier away our boat, along with some of the land mass of shed cry. The Pamban Bridge collapsed with a train full of passengers on it. Until then, I had only seen the beauty of the sea, knew it uncontrollable energy come as a revelation to me. By the time of the bought me its ultimately and Ahmad Jalabdin had become a closet friend of mine. Despite the difference in our age, he was about 15 years older than I and used to call me Azad. We used to go for long walk together every evening as we started from Moscow Street and made our way toward the sandy shores of the Iceland. Jalabdin and I talking many of spirit matters. The utmost force of Rameswaram with his flocking pilgrims was considered, so such discussion over first held would be at the imposing table of Lord Shiva, circling around the temple with the some reversion as any pilgrim from a distant part of the country we felt a flow of energy pass through us. Jalabdin would talk about God as